Okay, welcome to video number 8 in our series here on the 1974 Mercury Capri that we are getting ready for 24 Hours of Lemons. We are grafting in the motor, the front subframe, the rear axle, the wiring, anything else useful we can pull from a 2005 Mustang that was wrecked. And here you see us opening up the strut tower tops on the Capri, using a jigsaw here to open these up. We're still keeping all the internal structure of the Capri's strut tower reinforcements, so there's rigidity and extra layers of material and bracing in these locations where the struts, the Capri struts mounted. Now we're going to put the Mustang struts in the same spot, but the Mustang struts are bigger. Everything about the Mustang is bigger and heavier duty, which should work well for Lemons racing. As a race car, you want heavier duty components, so we're happy to put these struts in here. We just want to take advantage of the Capri, the structure that's already there on the Capri. Now we're double checking angles. We can set these struts up in the holes that we've created here. We think that we're hitting the same camber and caster as the stock Mustang, but fortunately we have a stock Mustang, also a V6, same generation, that we're going to be able to take measurements from on exactly the same piece of ground with the same jacks, the same quick jacks. So this will let us verify what the stock Mustang had for camber and caster when it was sitting, up on jacks without weight on it. And so we're going to bring in this Mustang. It belongs to Keaton's wife, Elizabeth. Thank you, Elizabeth, for letting us use the Mustang to verify. It's also a V6, so all the weights and everything should be the same. Struts should be the same. And angles should be the same. That's the most important thing. So we take this opportunity to get camber and caster angles off the Mustang so that we know what we should be aiming for on the Capri. We're just going to try and match these angles. We're going to actually put a little more camber into it than the stock Mustang has. From a race car standpoint, it's good to have a little bit of extra camber. We're rolling this around on furniture dollies. That's how we're moving it. It's very light without an engine in it or anything else really. So now we've got it back on the quick jacks. We can put those strut towers back in there and start to take our measurements. And we're going to use the very tops, the mounting strut mounts from the Mustang. We cut them out of the Mustang, the donor Mustang, and we just have to figure out the angles. You can see that the Capri has these nice, almost flat fender tops, inner fender tops, that we can mount to. We build some additional bracing on the underside of these fenders, but we also take advantage of the existing bracing for the stock struts on the Capri. So what we've determined though is that these struts are too tall. They will not let us they won't let us shut the hood, and so we have to decide, do we want to cut holes in the hood, or maybe we can shorten these struts. So what we do is we cut a couple inches out of the springs on these struts. You can do that if it is, can't remember the spring types, but the Mustang spring was trimmable on one end anyway. The top side of it I wouldn't try and do, but the bottom side of it we could trim. We had to weld some additional supports into the strut base to make sure the spring nested well. But essentially we were able to shorten up these struts by 2 inches, and that would give us room to shut the hood. And it also gives us a slightly lower ride height, which we needed, and hopefully a little bit stiffer spring rate into the corners. So here we were checking the hood and seeing that no, we still don't quite fit. Keaton was doing the trigonometry, the 2 different angles to figure out where we should cut, and we got it. We found a happy angle where we could hit where we needed to be, and still shut the hood. So we're happy about that. Elizabeth came in and checked on our work here, and then we're moving forward with the other side, with the passenger side. I'm working on the strut tower top. Keaton is working on welding up a base, for, a larger base for the driver's side strut tower top. And originally we were going to just weld that top straight to the fender, but we had the idea that with some additional bracing, we could. Oh, and here's a part of video where it wasn't stop motion, and I just let it roll because Keaton's doing a good weld here, a nice long continuous bead. I thought that you should see the pace I actually move at here, which isn't makes it look like I go really quick when I get to edit through stop motion. Anyway, it's not the pace I usually move at, as you see here. Keaton's working on welding up some base plates for these strut towers, and with some additional bracing underneath the fenders, we found that we could essentially bolt these strut tower tops to the Capri, and by bolting them down, it gave us the option to adjust camber more than you could with the stock Mustang setup. We just needed to build some additional support into that fender on the Capri. We're also going to do some additional bracing down to the Mustang subframe, but that'll come, after we get the engine in and the brakes and that kind of thing. So there'll be some additional bracing, but the structure under the fender here, the Capri, is pretty robust, and we've strengthened it up with some additional angle iron. Now we discover, Keaton was like, hey, are you sure that our master cylinder is going to fit? And the answer was no. The reservoir tank didn't quite fit with that strut tower top. We had to notch it, but it didn't get in the way of the strut itself. We just had to notch the top a little bit for that to fit. So it wasn't a big deal, but I was glad that Keaton caught it, because otherwise we would have got it all put together, and then I would have had to take that part back apart. Now we're double checking measurements. We're making sure that the struts line up and they're the same distance and we're square. We're within tolerance, let's put it that way. And then here's my daughter Cassie. She is helping us lay out our new fender wells, with Elizabeth there providing some guidance. We had to open up these fender wells because this front axle sits further forward than the stock Capri axle. A, it gave us space we needed. B, it, from a weight distribution standpoint, well, we really did it mainly so the struts could go into the original mounting points on the Capri. We could take advantage of all the engineering and reinforcements that's in there for the Capri struts. That's the main reason it's farther forward, but it also would give us, the entire weight of the engine sits behind the front axle now, so we've got a little bit of a front mid-engine setup. Now it's sitting on all 4 wheels for the first time in months. We had a little celebration, and then we all got on the front to see how far it would compress. It's sitting high without the engine in it, but it is sitting on its own 4 wheels, and the camber and caster are close to what we want. So now we're going to put in the steering, what is it? The rack and pinion from the Mustangs going in here. It looks like we can shorten up. The driver's side will stay stock. The passenger side, we have to shorten up radically. Using geometry that I've seen in some bump steer adjustments for lowered cars, we're going to try this. Using the Mustang components and some TIG welding, we're going to build this L into the passenger side of the steering linkage. Now, speaking of steering linkage, we got to connect the steering wheel to the Mustang rack, and it turns out that a 1974 steering rack U-joint will fit. It's the same U-joint in the 2005 Mustang. So we were just able to press in the U-joint end, the C end from the 74 Capri, and then the length was spot on. I didn't have to change the length at all. I was sure I was going to have to adjust the length of that steering column rod, but everything lined up perfectly. We just bolted it right up once we had swapped out that end. So now we are double checking angles and will this work to weld up a really stumpy passenger side end. Yes is the short answer. It looks like it'll work. We've proceeded that way. We'll know when we get the car up to speed, but it turns through all the way left and right geometry without any binding. I don't see any reason. We had to offset the rack slightly and make up. We're making up mounting brackets for that offset now, but right now, as proof of concept, we mounted the rack at one mounting point that we were able to pivot on, and now we're going to put weight on the car so I can double check the geometry of that steering rack, make sure it's not going to hit anything when we're in full compression with the engine in. So now we got to put an engine in, and the idea was, well, we'll just make up a set of engine mounts. How hard can it be, right? We're going to use 1/2-inch L channel. It's very beefy. It doesn't have to bridge because the car's narrower. It's a much shorter distance between the mounts. We've taken 7 inches out of the subframe, so we're using the stock lower mounts for the Mustang, but we need to bolt them to the engine. We need to come up with the brackets that go from those lower neoprene Mustang motor mounts. We need to make up these brackets to bridge over to them. So have to slide the engine and transmission in. For the transmission, we're using the stock Mustang mounting bracket, and it's suspended from threaded bar so that I can fine-tune the height before we build the final brackets to hold the transmission mount. But this lets us get the angle we want. We want 2 to 2.5 degrees of back slope on that engine. That lines us up well with the rear axle. And so now we're using cardboard and we're making up templates, and then we're cutting 1/2-inch angle iron, and Keaton's going to start doing the welding here to make up these motor mounts. And I want to play the A-Team entry song here, but I suspect YouTube will catch it as a copyright infringement, so I won't do that. But we're both just cutting metal and welding metal and making progress here on building some brackets to reach over to the motor mounts. Again, the nice thing about the stop motion stuff is that we edit out a bunch of sitting and thinking about it, and refitting and regrinding and redrilling. But I'd rather sneak up on it than overcut and have to weld more material back on. So here we've got the passenger side bracket that reaches over to the stock Mustang motor mount. And then here we're working on or that was the driver's side. Now we're working on the passenger side. Had to cut a little notch in this so that the bolt would fit. But then we'll see Keaton doing the final welding here in just a second. And then we had a visit from my nephew, Keaton's cousin, Coulter. So here you can see both motor mounts kind of there in front of him. And you see Coulter sitting there behind him. I think Coulter is 9 or 10 years old. And he got to come see some TIG welding with Uncle Keaton. And Keaton let him do the temperature readings on it to see if it was cool enough to do the next weld. And it was fun to have Coulter stop by and help out for a little bit. Now we're putting in that last passenger mount. Got everything, and now we're about to let the engine down onto the motor mounts, the weight for the first time onto that subframe. Everything goes nicely. Now we're going to put the car down with the motor in it. Hey, the ride height is good. We're a little taller on the front than we want to be even after taking 2 inches out, but it will work. So thank you for joining in for this part of the adventure. We're moving on to new things. Hit like if you enjoyed it, and more to come soon.